Hello, listener. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. Yep, I'm already dropping jewels just by you listening to this podcast. There's a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. How simple is that? Anchor will do all the work for you by distributing your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Not to mention, you can make money from your podcast as well with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So what are you waiting on? Download the Anchor app and get busy. Hello, listener. From the beginning of mankind, men and women have asked themselves this one fucking question. Who put you on? It wasn't how did we get here or what happened before the Big Bang. Nah, you're sadly mistaken. That was a question geeky motherfuckers asked. Yeah, for real. Who put you on? From the start of this shit, people been looking for a leg up in the world. And it was all about who you knew. And now it's all about how much you know. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Somebody knows somebody who got something somebody knows that somebody's friend wants. Let me break it down. If I'm looking to win, I could just hang around the person that's winning. Then I could show off my shit and pick up those people that are tired of seeing that person's shit. And those people will go run and show off my shit to other people. And then I'm in the winning status eventually. But it's not like that anymore. See, you can show off your shit all you want to everybody. And nobody will pay attention until you get connected with one thing. The algorithm. Yeah. Didn't you know about the algorithm? The algorithm that's got us dancing around this motherfucker trying to catch it from the beginning of time since they created it. So now it's about what you know and not about who you know. Yeah, you might be able to grab some friends from different motherfuckers and you might be able to try to show off your shit, but it's about what's going to go viral and what's going to make that algorithm go. Funny story, I had to find out about the algorithm the hard way. Yeah, let me tell you a story. So when I just came back to making music on my debut album, E.R.I.K, Everything Real Is Known. Yeah, shameless plug. Go listen to that if you haven't. I put a lot of hard work into it. And I was figuring, if I make this album, everybody's going to want to listen to this. So I need to put the shit out, distribute it right. Soon as I put it out, build up some anticipation. Boom, I'm good. So I went to Instagram. I went to Twitter. I went to Snapchat. I went to Facebook. And I started posting my little happy ass off. Every chance I get. I even went as far as to find out when I can actually post. So I started researching. When do you actually post? Like a dumb motherfucker. I was literally sitting there typing that in. When can you actually post? Motherfucker, you can post anytime. But that's not where my head was at. I wanted the winning bets. I wanted people to listen. So I crept in, started looking around, doing my research to find out when's the best time to post. Whew, I got it. Found out when the best time was to post, and I started posting. On those times, 11, 4, 7. Right around the peak times when motherfuckers is picking up their phones. But guess what? It didn't work. So that made me more infuriated. Why didn't this work? It's because I didn't have the algorithm. Oh, wait, let me backtrack. It's because I didn't have enough hashtags. So I started to research that. What are hashtags? Hashtags are words that let motherfuckers who type in your same word clue in to what you're doing. So then that way they can actually see what you're doing. Okay, hashtags. So I went to try to find the perfect hashtags. So I started building hashtags on my own. Stuff like Erik the lyricist, new hip hop. Oh, wait. Hashtag new hip hop. Hashtag weird clothing company. I wanted them to be a part of my ecosystem, like Apple. But once again, it didn't work. And you know why it didn't work? It's because nobody knew who the fuck Weird Clothing Company was. Nobody knew who Erik was. Nobody knew who I was in the dumbass hashtags that I was creating for myself. So then I went as far as to steal hashtags. Yeah, maybe I could steal somebody else's hashtags and then they would clue into what I was doing. Yeah, that was it. So now I'm sitting here on a daily basis trying to get people to, one, look at my website, two, listen to my music, and figure this whole thing out. So I could work for myself. But none of it was working, right? I wasn't spiking the algorithm enough for people to tune in to what I was doing. Shit's crazy, right? I mean, when I started this whole thing, I felt like I was Neo in the Matrix. I felt like I had swallowed the blue pill and I was about to embark on this whole huge journey. Oh man, to work for myself, to do what I love every day, man, I'm in there. But the one thing that was holding me back was a fucking algorithm. Well, it was either that or I was talentless and nobody really wanted to listen or see what the fuck I had. Either way, I'm still trying to figure that out. Anyways, back to the story. So I'm posting, probably bugging the shit out of y'all, between 4 and 7 and 11, the peak times. On different days, the time changed too. So I'm just posting my ass off, probably bugging the shit out of everybody on every platform. All my friends that I know, listen, look at my shit. That's pretty much what I was saying. So, after maybe about a month of doing that, nothing's working. Nothing's firing off. Nothing's moving like I want it to. Because I'm like everybody else. I don't know about you, but I'm like everybody else. I want instant gratification, right? I want that shit to happen now. If I put it out, I want y'all ears and y'all to be talking and typing in the comments about my shit right now. But life doesn't work like that, right? Okay. So, after about a month of me posting like that, just craziness, not to mention, I'm still kind of working. I'm still kind of working and trying to, bring in some money to keep this all going because I can't just rely on this because nothing was really happening with it. So I got to still bring in money. So I'm working too. And being a father and being a husband and trying to run my house and everything else. But I noticed that this started to take me away from everything else. This posting, this chasing the numbers, all of it. This algorithm took me away. So I stepped back and I was like, okay, wait, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I'm questioning myself again. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. The reason why this is not happening for me. Just step back. Okay, let's see. All right, I post on the times. I get some type of engagement, but it's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking down the timelines of everybody else's time and feeds, I should say. I'm looking at everybody else's feeds, and they're getting anywhere from 300 to 400 likes and hearts, and what is it that I'm doing wrong to where I can't get those same likes? So then, on top of all of that, I'm not getting the likes and the hearts that I wanted, so I turn against my family. Hey, why are you guys not doing what I'm asking you to do? All I want you to do is repost my things to your friends. That whole thing that I was talking about before. I'd steal some of their friends, and then they would like what I was doing and pick up on what I was doing, and then bam, I'm an instant success. I'm thinking in my head, if I win, then my family wins, right? I'm asking them to take time out of their day to post my shit like it was a job for them. And then I got mad at them. How wrong was I? I get to love I get to do what I love, and then they get to profit and benefit off of that and potentially do what they love, and it's a whole winning cycle, right? Isn't this how it works? Probably not. But I start turning against my family. I started to be mean-hearted and, upset with them, and, just not understanding that they have their own lives too. And I'm still going through that battle to this day, to be honest with you. But it's a lot better now. But it really led me to the whole, once I got done with everything, once I figured out that, listen, you're not going to win, I just took the time and just walked away. Yep. I walked away from everything because it was not working. This algorithm put me out. It was starting me to think. Who put these other motherfuckers on? Who put them on? I wanted to know who put them on so they could put me on. So you know what I did next? I went to YouTube to find out if somebody had a hidden secret on how to make me win. Somebody had to be giving up the key and letting me know how to get this thing to work. If they did it, I could do it. Why not? Just a small-minded thinking motherfucker I was. I really was. But if you turn that around in the interim, that's my determination for trying to win. So I don't miscredit it or discredit what I did. It was just me trying to win. And either I was going to give up and feel defeated, or I was going to win. One of the two things was going to happen. So, what I didn't understand is beyond the algorithm, it was about how long you've been doing it. How consistent are you? I mean, all these things play a factor into who actually put you on, right? Because it's not about the actual person putting you on anymore. That doesn't work, right? It's not about who you know anymore. It's about how much you know now. And so you have to build yourself and get yourself, familiar with how things work on the internet, not in real life. Because real life is one thing. If real life was one thing and I just needed to be heard, as my mother would say, if real life was one thing, then the internet and these apps was a whole nother other thing.
I know you're enjoying the show, but we gotta pay some bills. Period.
I started my own clothing line. It's called W.E.I.R.D. What is W.E.I.R.D. and why would you want to wear it, you ask? Well, let me explain. WE.I.R.D stands for wonderful, entertaining, interesting, rich dork. If you can't find out who you are in one of those words, then this is simply not for you. I created this brand as an anti-bullying clothing line. But for you, it may mean something totally different, and that's okay. Your clothes should have a meaning. With WE.I.R.D, it's right front and center, if you're only looking for what's on the surface. So if you feel like me, pick up some WE.I.R.D, wear it proudly, and support something good. You can check it all out at WE.IRDclothingcompany.com. That's WE.I.R.D Clothing Company, the small brand that fights back. Now back to the show. So after I figured out that these apps and the internet kind of went side by side with the algorithm, I started posting like crazy, remember? So now at this point, I'm going to bring in something else. Something else that Instagram and Facebook brings in the picture. Paid ads. Oh, shit. I could just have somebody post these ads and it'll show it to how many people? 10,000 people? Oh, wow. I could really do this? Okay. Yeah. So now, what's my budget? So I started out low. Let me do about $5 a day just to show it to about 1,000 people and see if anything comes back. See if I get any hits. Nope. No hits. So now I'm wondering, if I get no hits from spreading my money around and starting a budget, maybe let me think back. What am I doing wrong this time? Oh, I didn't start up a business plan. I didn't budget for all of this that I would endure later on in my venture. Well, to put it short, I went into a huge deep depression. I mean, this shit really drove me wild. I was wondering why nobody was listening and why nobody was picking up on WE.I.R.D, nobody was wearing it, nothing like that. I really honestly felt like nobody wanted me. So, that brings me back to the point. Who put all of you on? If you're winning, who put you on? Put me in contact with them. I got something to show them, right? Wrong. I mean, because if we look through history of time, we know that it was always somebody there to help somebody out, right? You got Jordan and Pippen. Pippen wouldn't be who he was if he didn't have Jordan. You got Shaq and Kobe. Rest in peace to Kobe. But Kobe wouldn't have been who he was if he wouldn't have learned from Shaq. So it's always somebody there. I'll give you another one. J-Lo wouldn't have got her shine if she wouldn't have been on Keenan Ivory Wayans' show in Living Color. She was one of the fly girls. So again, yeah, she worked her butt off to get there. But the payoff was she knew someone to get in the door, to show her the ways. The list goes on, and truly, I could go on and on about who did what and who was whose gatekeeper. That's not the point of this. The point of this is, as I look around the world and I start to notice who's putting who on. It's not a person anymore. It's the internet. The internet put everybody on now. And you have to play by the rules of the algorithm. So I guess my next question is, once you get past that point and you're able to play the algorithm the correct way, and you start to get some shine and you start to get a little buzz and you start to get popping, then what? Is it about who you know after that? Is it another door that you have to go through after you go through door number one, the algorithm? I guess that's my question. Because to me, when I started out with this whole thing, I thought it was you that put you on. I thought it was you that did everything. You might have some help here along the ways. You might have a partner, that sort of thing. I get that. But I thought it was you that put in all the fucking hard work. I thought it was you that came up with the idea. Here's a quote: "The strongest people are those who show strength in front of us, but those who win battles we know nothing about." See? It's what we go through behind closed doors. You put in all the work, you go through all the battles, you fight the wars, you come out on top. So when I ask this question, who put you on? It's simple. You. You put you on. But the crazy thing about that is, I couldn't tell myself that when I kept failing over and over and over again. And I mean, I failed a lot. You know what gets to me though? It's throughout all the failure, right? All the work you put in, the research, and trust me, I did a lot of research too, trying to figure out what part goes with A to B to C, and shit, sometimes D, and I know I'm going to keep continuing to fail at things, and that's just part of life. That's going to make me stronger as a person. I get that. But the thing that hurts the most is that when I fail, it feels like I'm failing and letting a whole generation down. And I know what you're thinking. Why would you put that much pressure on you to win? That's just the type of person I am. I put a whole generation on my back. I need to win for everybody. And that's just me. That's embedded in me. But enough about how much I failed. Let's talk about another story. Let's talk about me putting this album together, right? Because I mentioned that in the beginning of this episode here. So when I was putting together the E.R.I.K album, it was like I had a vision, right? I was thinking of this sound that I wanted. I was going to sing more, and everybody tells me not to sing. But I don't give a damn because I'm going to keep singing. So now, you can take it or leave it. I don't care. But anyways, I started this album thinking, okay, so this is what's out now. I can either get with it or I could go back to my old ways. Remember, I'm coming off of probably a 5-year hiatus, not making any type of music, not writing any type of music. I might hum or tune, so in the shower, but nothing serious. I'm coming off of a 5-year hiatus, getting ready to put out some new music. And so I started kind of dibbling dabbling with an auto-tune filter that I could put over my voice so I can make myself sound a little better. Obviously, because everybody's telling me not to sing. So I started writing some songs that was geared around this auto-tune and how I can make filters in my voice and make me sound a certain way. So I'm putting stuff together. I'm feeling good about what I'm doing with my album. But when I started it, I had no idea how to mix. But let me take you all the way back though. Let me back up for a minute. Before I even got to the part of making an album, I had to get beats, I had to get studio time, I had to figure out where I was going to record, I had to put a budget together for that. And this was all coming together out of thin air. I hadn't been thinking about music until I bumped into a way to be able to create my own music using my iPad. And that opened up my eyes to so many different ideas. So before I even jumped at this whole thing of doing this auto-tune and singing with my voice and writing these songs that was geared around that, I had to figure out how I was going to be able to do all this on my own. So when the album flopped to me, right? Because it flopped in my mind. I don't know about y'all. You guys probably have listened to it. You probably haven't. If you haven't, shameless plug. Erik, Everything Real is Known. It's on Apple, Spotify, all your streaming platforms. Okay, back to the story. So, before I even got to this point, I had to figure everything out. And I did this all on my own. Nobody's help. Staying up late nights, figuring it out, writing down what I could. I went to YouTube University to figure out how to do all of this. That's why with this E.R.I.K album, it hurt. The failure hurt. And I know we said we was going to get off failure, but I'm just letting you know the failure hurt to me because I felt like it was a fail. Nobody listened to it. I wasn't being me on this album. So I can see why people kind of steered away from it and didn't gravitate to it and push it out there, right? Because I was putting this out to the masses. Everybody could get their hands on it. I was waiting for everybody to get their hands on it, matter of fact. But that's not what happened. I didn't have anybody to put me on. I thought, in my head, I was putting myself on. So, fuck everybody else. It's a defeatist attitude. I know. I shouldn't have that attitude. I should have the attitude with bringing people in. And so that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to bring everybody into what I'm doing. But the one question that always stood in front of me when I see other people winning at what they wanted to do out of life is who put you on? I know, right? The silliest little thing. Who put you on? Who gave you the money? Who gave you the startup money? Did you grind it out by yourself? Did you build everything from ground up? Did you have a team? Is this somebody around the clock posting for you? Who was the gatekeeper? I wanted to know that person so I could get on. This is the magical key, right? And then once I get past that door, I guess then I'll be bitching and griping about who it is that I need to know to get me put in a higher ranking or get me put in a higher place. I don't know. That's not the way to go about it. I say all this with sarcasm in my voice. I don't know if you could tell or not. I've been having a fun ride ever since I've come back to actually making more music and continuing my journey with W.E.I.R.D. And now new journeys that I'm venturing off into, as in my autobiography, my epic fails. And with this podcast, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. However, I know I got to make it all make sense to my listeners. So to me and to everyone out there listening, don't let an algorithm stand in your way of who put you on. Don't let your friends in a crowd of people that they know stand in the way of who put you on. And most definitely, don't let yourself stand in the way of who put you on. Thanks for listening. This podcast is produced and recorded by me. I'm the only one behind the scenes making this podcast happen. So listening and spreading the word is greatly appreciated. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I'm sure your ears will thank your brain later. Inconsistently consistent. I'm out. This episode of Inconsistently Consistent was produced and recorded by Erik G. Polk, aka Everything Real is Known. This is a W.E.I.R.D Recordings production.